Happy Showcase Sunday, everybody. And this week's Showcase Sunday is coming with the amazing Pamela Carvell. Now, Pamela Carvell has been in the industry, the hospitality industry, for a while, and she knows so much about the industry. It's not worth knowing what she doesn't know. So we're going to speak to Pamela Carvell now, and would like Pamela, would you like to introduce yourself? She's a lifestyle consultant, but she's going to talk about the Hotel Marketing Association conference. Pamela, so who are you, what do you do, and what role do you play in the Hotel Marketing Conference?
Hi, well, thank you for having me on your Showcase Sunday, Alison. It's great to join you. You and I obviously have known each other a long time. So I guess I've always worked in marketing. I have a marketing degree, worked in lots of different industries before I sort of ended up in hospitality, so to speak. And marketing has always been my passion. I became involved with the Hotel Marketing Association almost 30 years ago because it was the, original organisation for hotel marketers. And as part of that, many years ago, we developed the National Hotel Marketing Conference. Now, although somebody independent, a gentleman called Martin Evans of the tourism business, actually organises it, we as the HMA have a heavy involvement in it. So personally, I now work as, I've sort of, like many of us, rebranded myself as a lifestyle consultant, because I reach a point where, yes, I still do marketing, but I've always done a lot of training in hotels in many different topics, from selling techniques to how to do local level marketing. But also I recently launched some workplace wellness programs, because I'm also qualified in nutrition, and I've worked with neuro-linguistic programming as part of the marketing that I've done for decades, because you can't be a great communicator and great marketer without understanding the whole sort of process of NLP. So that's where it all sort of comes together. So that personally I work as a lifestyle consultant. My company name has been Pampers for over 20 years now. And I've been involved with the Hotel Marketing Association for a similar length of time. And my role with the National Hotel Marketing Conference is that every year I fortunately get invited to chair the conference. So I'm not only responsible for timekeeping, all of the speakers know that Pamela is a ruthless timekeeper. and it's one of those things, because I feel if you let one speaker overrun, you're being disrespectful to another speaker whose time you're going to have to cut back, or somebody who needed the coffee break at a certain time because they'd committed to go and do emails or make some calls, then can't. So yes, I have a reputation for being a ruthless timekeeper. I also do, each year at the conference, we have a big interview with somebody very important in the industry. And we do that sort of, we used to call it a sort of Parkinson style, that we sit, in comfy chairs and do it. Obviously, a lot of work goes into making that look natural, but of course, we've planned what we're going to say and what we're going to cover to make it interesting to the audience. And I also normally, there's a debate towards the end of the conference, and I tend to chair and lead that. So that's how come. And I work with Martin Evans. He and I are meeting next week. We always get together to go through to finely tune the content. Because one thing, and the reason why the HMA endorses the conference, is we do not allow speakers to sell. They are not allowed to sell. So even if you look and see that somebody works for a property management system, they will not be talking about their property management system in their presentation. We are, again, and I as the chair of the conference, ruthless about that. So slightly long-winded explanation, but obviously as I wear several hats, I thought it's important to explain and why I'm here to talk about the National Hotel Marketing Conference on this Showcase Sunday with you.
Now it's a great introduction, because it's really important that people understand the background of the people behind the scenes as well as in front of the scenes and who organise it, because that's what gives it the kudos and the leverage in the industry. And just to let everybody know that the National Hotel Marketing Conference is actually held at the Hilton at St George's Park. It's a great venue. I've been a few times now, and I'm absolutely gutted I can't make it this time, but I'll certainly be back there in the next year or so. But it's an amazing conference. And why should people attend? I know why people should attend. It's a no-brainer for me, but why should people attend? What makes it unique to go to this conference above anything else?
Okay, I mean, first of all, to tell everybody the date, it's happening on Thursday the 28th of April. It's a full day conference. St George's Park is a great venue because it's near Burton-on-Trent. It's very central in the UK, so we do get hoteliers coming up from Cornwall, coming down from Scotland, you know, because if we don't want these things to be London-centric. Far too much, you know, is guilty of being London-centric. So it is the only hotel marketing conference. Since the day we started the conference 15, 20 years ago, there is no other hotel marketing conference. So if you're responsible for marketing in a hotel, you can't afford not to be here, because the value that the conference delivers is unbelievable. Many of the speakers share insights with us that they as agencies or experts have. And as an independent hotel, you would have no other way of finding out that information. So we will typically have somebody saying, right, this is what Google have got planned for the next couple of months. Now, you wouldn't find out about that till Google had actually done it. Whereas at the conference, you have the opportunity to hear somebody who works very closely with Google explaining not just what they've got planned, but how that could potentially impact your business and what you need to start doing now. So we're very proud of the fact that a lot of the speakers share insights with us that you simply wouldn't be able to gain anywhere else. We also have, the conference breaks down into seminars at 3 times during the day when you have a choice of 4 seminars. And some of those seminars are focused on specific market segments. So again, we have experts in those segments. So one of them will be on the weddings market, one will be on the MICE market, one will be on the staycation market. And we have people who are experts in those segments. So again, where else as an independent hotel would you learn about those sorts of things? You know, from people who are experts, but also what we do in those seminars, there will always be a hotelier talking alongside an expert. So every seminar has 2 people presenting, and that person typically will be from an independent hotel. So it will be totally relevant to you as an independent hotel. And we get many owners coming to the conference, you know, who ultimately have responsibility for marketing. They're not marketing professionals, but they have ultimate responsibility for the marketing. So they come along to learn as much as people say who are new to the hotel industry. Because the other thing I'd say is that makes the conference unique is some people are, say, new to a digital marketing agency that works in hotels. They come along to learn about the hotel industry because they know that over half of our speakers will be from hotels. So that combination makes it a very, very unique event. Added to which, obviously, Martin does an amazing job of securing sponsors for the conference, who then exhibit during the various coffee breaks and lunch break. And Martin ensures that those are companies who have something to add value to the people attending the conference. So again, they're not there to do a heavy sell. So you can learn almost as much in the coffee breaks by going and mixing with those people as you can actually during the formal sessions. So it's a very, I guess, intensive day. There's just, you know, your brain is being bombarded even when you pop for a coffee in a break, thinking, wow, I've just learned so much. You go to a coffee break and you're going to be learning even more then. So I think those things also in terms of value for money, Alison, because it is a full day conference, and the full price for the conference is £245 per person plus VAT. Now, if you compare that with train fares in this country, with the cost of a cup of coffee and what have you, but a huge positive, and I say thank you for having me on this Showcase Sunday, because it gives me a chance to tell people this. The Hotel Marketing Association at the moment, as we've all come out of COVID, is offering free membership for the HMA till the end of the year, so long as that person is the primary person responsible for marketing in that hotel. And of course, if you therefore join the HMA, there is a special members rate for the conference, which is £195 plus VAT. So you get a double benefit of the membership of the HMA, which gives you access to events without paying, gives you access to some of the hospital events, but it also will give you that reduced rate. So £195 plus VAT for a full day conference. I mean, it's just...
And the information, the content.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the next thing that I always ask for Showcase Sunday is, what are your 5 top tips? And I'm thinking number 1 should be bring a large pen and paper.
It's yes. Well, that was my number 2 rather than my number 1. Right, my number 1 tip is because the conference at 3 points breaks out into seminars and you have a choice of seminars to attend, is plan in advance which seminars you want to attend. Research the speakers and research the companies or the hotels they represent to see which ones you'll benefit from. Sometimes it's quite sad on the day when people are wandering around because they still haven't decided which seminar to attend, and then they go and miss the first 5-10 minutes. So that would be my number one tip, is do your research into those seminars beforehand where you have that choice and decide which one you want to attend. Yes, next one is take loads of notes. Right? Yes, whether it's in an old-fashioned big notebook or whether you're typing them on your iPad in whatever, but yes, take loads of notes. Third tip is also take lots of photographs of what appears on screen. We do eventually share the presentations online, but that takes time to pull together. So by the time you've gone back to the hotel and you're back in the reality of operating a hotel, you've forgotten things. So my third tip is to take photos, and even when you've taken them, put them on social media, because then you've got a reminder of why that was important to you. I find it very valuable if I quickly tweet a photo of something on screen and saying, I've just learned something amazing, right? You know, you need to know this when you're developing your next marketing promotion. So it helps to embed it in your own brain as well as a reminder for you. Third tip is to network like crazy during the breaks. Again, I know a lot of people come in twos to conferences, or you see somebody you know early on and you sit with them, you know, but the breaks all happen in what we call sort of the marketing avenue. And so, yes, the speakers also tend to stay for the whole day because the conference is in St George's Park, which, you know, if we all go to London conferences and the speakers just pop from their office, deliver their 1 hour and go back to their office again. The beauty of St George's Park is that most of the speakers stay at the conference for the whole day and are happy for you to pick their brains during the coffee and lunch breaks. So network during those breaks. I know it's tempting to go off and pick up your emails and make a few calls, but you know, if you can try and absorb as much as you can, you're there to learn. So view those breaks as a further learning opportunity and a networking opportunity, not a chance to rush off and catch up on your emails. And then my fifth tip is to share what you've learned with the team when you get back to your hotel or office, because they need to know. One, you want to prove to whoever's, you know, if your general manager's approved you going to the conference, you want to show that you're delivering value because of what you've learned. Also, you're not likely to exclusively be responsible for the various areas of marketing or the various segments that you've learned about. So I always think you should then pull all those notes together, pull those photos together, whether it's at the morning meeting or you actually put a time in the diary for later that week or the following week to, with the team, explain to them things that really have, you know, fascinated you, that you've learned from, and how you think that should change the way the hotel does its marketing going forwards. So, you know, and I think if you, with those 5 things, you can really, really, really get amazing value out of the conference.
Absolutely. I mean, to be immersive and actually switch off. I know a lot of people struggle with that, but they've got to do that to get the most out of it, because you can miss so much by not switching off. And I know I used to be the nightmare, still am actually, that if I knew anybody, I'd say, it's great seeing you, but I'll see you when I can. However, I don't want you to sit next to me. Because I always wanted to find out who else was there and meet new people and find out what they were coming for, you know, have a real clear goal of what you want to achieve out of it. But there's so much content, and I mean, it's a no-brainer, and I am absolutely gutted that I can't be there, but it's just so powerful and so many tools, tips and techniques that you gain from it. So we've covered how much it's going to cost, and obviously thank you so much for giving that amazing offer. You know, that is without doubt something to definitely take. They'll obviously learn a lot from it, but what are the subjects that you normally cover? Are you allowed to say that? Are you allowed to say in advance?
Yes, I am. Yes, the programme has now been revealed. There is a website specifically for the conference, which is very straightforward. It's hotelmarketingconference.co.uk, and the content is on there now. So in the main room, so to speak, we have 7 speakers, and then there are 3 seminar sessions in which you have a choice of 4 seminars. and there are 2 speakers delivering each of those seminars. I said there'll always be an expert, but there'll always be somebody representing a hotel. So in terms of some of the highlights, Alison, the keynote speaker, as we call him, is Andrew Denton, MBE, who is Best Western's comms, content and brand director. So somebody who I think we all can't wait to hear from. So he's the keynote speaker. We also have Thomas Landon of Revinate, who again always shares the most amazing insights with us. That's one where I've got my phone up, I'm taking photos of every one of his slides when they pop up, thinking, oh wow, he shares such amazing information with us. We then later in the day have Amelia Harper, who was an Acorn winner, and she's now the director of comms of the Rosewood in London, and that's who I'm doing the sort of the big interview with. Can't tell you any more about that at the moment. Her and I are both working on that right now, because again, there's always sort of a theme to that. Again, because some of the content, we always look at who's booking the conference to make sure that we deliver value for who the audience is. It's not one of those where the content gets so fixed, that then it can't be flexible for whoever's there. And then towards the end of the conference, where we always have a debate, we're very fortunate to have Kalindi Juneja, who is the new Chief Executive of Pride of Britain Hotels, talking about sustainability to us. So that's in the main room alone. Then when we come to the seminars, some of those seminars are looking at market segments like MICE, like weddings, like the staycation market. But others are focusing on digital marketing. So we've got things like developing your content strategy, the impact of meta search, the importance of personalization, and sort of how game-changing social media is. Then we've got some seminars that cover the more traditional areas of marketing. So things like building brand loyalty, driving direct bookings, always a hot topic, creative packaging, and how you create experiences. So yeah, as you can tell, it is an amazing content. There is something there for everybody. I mean, I always find the problem is, even personally, that I want to go to every seminar. Obviously you can't. I want to go to all 12 of them. But the beauty is, obviously, because we share the content afterwards, you can then dip in. So the seminars that you didn't go to, you can make a note of, and you can look at the content later. So yeah, some amazing content that I don't know where else you would be able to get that kind of information. I mean, well, you simply wouldn't be able to.
No, not at all, not at all. I mean, I've always taken so many notes and made so many actions. That's the key, is actually making the actions and implementing it, because shelf development is not the best way forward by any stretch of the imagination. So how does anybody book? How can they book? Can they book online? What is it, what they have to do?
Yes, just go straight to the website I mentioned, hotelmarketingconference.co.uk. Just go straight there, or you can go to the Hotel Marketing Association website, which is hotelmarketingassociation.com. So very easy to remember, either of those websites, and you can then just book online for the conference. Very straightforward.
Brilliant. And they can stay overnight. I think there's rooms left at the Hilton.
They would need to, yes, move quickly. I know the rooms.
Yeah, it's touch and go at the moment, and the access to it is really easy as well, from all corners of the UK. And I would recommend stay over if you can. A lot of people drive down or train it down on the day, but it's always wise to be there early so that you can get the most out of the conference. What time does it start, Pamela?
I think check-ins from 9:30 and the conference starts at 10.
Yep. And you get also...
Oh, no, sorry, 9 o'clock. Sorry, conference check-in from 9 o'clock. Sorry, conference check-in from 9 o'clock. Conference actually starts at 10 as I do the conference welcome. Again, we allow that hour because it's great networking time, and because obviously I say all the sponsors are there already set up. So, and just to say, by the way, for anybody who stays at the hotel, it is the home of English football there. So the bedrooms are full of the most, I always say the best room is to wake up and see David Beckham looking down on you as you wake up in the morning. Because there's huge photos that almost fill an entire wall of England legends. Also, you never know which football team is staying there. And again, I think you and I have people sometimes, you go into breakfast all sort of smartly dressed for a conference, and there are these sort of half-naked young men in their football shorts and flip-flops walking around, and we're all sort of, our jaws are dropping as we're thinking, what? So it's quite an experience to stay at that hotel at times, because you never know who's staying there while you're there.
Even if you're not a football fan, it's quite helpful.
Exactly.
So what takeaways do, because we've mentioned such content, there's such a lot to take away anyway, but what takeaways do the attendees normally come away from the conference with?
Well, it tends to be slightly different between people who've attended from an agency versus people who've attended from a hotel. But I'll tell you a little story first, that a couple of years ago, because obviously the conference hasn't happened for a couple of years, is that there was a gentleman who came and introduced himself to me, and he owned a hotel, but he was with his daughter who just finished her marketing degree. And he came up to me towards the end to say, Pamela, this has been the most amazing day out for me and my daughter. He said, because I own a hotel but needed to learn more about marketing. My daughter is now going to come into the business. She's got a marketing degree, but doesn't really understand the business. And he said, the content that you guys have delivered, she now understands the business and I now understand marketing, and therefore we can have an amazing working relationship going forwards. So I think that the big takeaways are, you will be mind blown by what you'll hear about marketing that you thought you knew and you didn't know. But you'll also learn and understand so much about the industry. So most people always will typically say, God, I've got another full notebook. I always end up with a full notebook when I leave this conference. And I also leave on a huge high because I can't wait to get back and use these things or understand better, or often people understand why something they've done in the past hasn't worked. You know, we're all guilty of that in marketing, when you, especially with a small hotel budget, you know, you dabble in things and they're not working. So again, often one of the takeaways people get is, I now understand why that didn't work for my hotel. I now know what I need to do differently. And they, to me, are huge takeaways. Most people leave on such a high. You know, everybody really is hugging and laughing when that conference comes to an end, because they just feel so upbeat about what they now know they need to do going forwards.
And what I find really, really fascinating as well is you actually find out what future elements of marketing are coming, which you wouldn't find anywhere else in, you know, in Google or anything. You know, it's the secrets behind the future plans. So it helps you to plan for the future of what's going to be happening. So if you're relying on certain media streams that aren't going to be as trendy in the future, you can amalgamate with other media channels, or you can actually start to develop your marketing strategy and plans in a different direction to future-proof you, and that's a no-brainer.
And I think also, you know, the caliber of presenters that we have at the conference, they've always pulled together amazing PowerPoint presentations. So they don't just talk about things where you're sitting there thinking, I don't really understand what this guy's talking about. You know, they've pulled it up on screen. If they say this is what Google's going to do going forward, and this is what it's going to look like, you know, the caliber of the speakers and the brief they're given, say by Martin, in terms of the content they have to deliver, means that even if marketing isn't your main role, you will understand every single presentation, because it's presented in such a way that we want to make it all inclusive, that everybody can understand, even if you're not at the cutting edge of marketing. So I think that's an important, again, part of what the conference delivers.
And that's so right. And I find it fascinating, like you say, with business owners and managers who actually come and attend, they can then pass it on to the teams to be able to deliver it and action it. That's amazing. Thank you. Obviously, nobody should be sitting on the fence thinking, why on earth should I be attending this? If they are, what on earth are they thinking? And I do think that we need to know how to get in touch. You've mentioned a couple of websites earlier. We're going to put all the contact details at the end of this video, the interview, and I think it's really important that they know how to get in touch with you. If somebody also wants to maybe speak at the event in the future, I know you actually filter and find out who you want to speak at the event, or exhibit or sponsor. Can they contact you as well, Pamela, or would that be Martin that you would?
Well, Martin ideally, but obviously Martin and I are both at the conference all day and the night before, so again, we're always happy to talk to people on the day. But yes, they can reach us either through Hotel Marketing Association website or the Hotel Marketing Conference website.
Brilliant, fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on our Showcase Sunday today. And everybody, I hope you have a fantastic Sunday and happy weekend. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Alison. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.